Robin, we're going to be talking today about people that lose their mates, and maybe they could even lose them at an earlier age. It doesn't have to be an elderly person. In fact,
Right.
we've had some people here.
Doing 20s and 30s. I've had some of my ladies.
Absolutely,
Yes.
they've lost their spouse. So, what do you do when you're at a church and you really think enough time has passed or whatever, and you really have a desire to remarry, and you look around and you see couples sitting together, couples talking together. You go to the restaurant, you see couples from the church sitting together, and there you are, single.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you feel like that? I think that's an honest question. I think it's a good question to ask, and I think it's one that we probably need to address.
Don't hide your faith to make you more appealing or more dateable.
Yeah.
Make sure they know your beliefs. And can I just say this? Don't you are good by yourself. You need to be good by yourself, and then just ask God to bring that man along. Just bring him. I agree, you should be intentional, but don't walk into that situation going, which one, which one, which
Yeah.
one, which one.
Yeah.
People can feel that.
Right.
So don't do that. You're good by yourself. You are good by yourself. And then you can look for it. Ask God too.
Yeah, you can actually put yourself in an environment where finding another mate is maybe higher potential, but let God bring the person to you. Let God bring that person. Don't just decide I like the way that person looks, so I'm gonna go after them. May not be the person God has for you at all. So let God, and He'll tell you that. He'll give you a piece about the person. So make sure that your faith is out there first. And let me say, and you'll agree with this, if someone is offended by your faith, you don't want them anyway.
No, they're a no.
Walk away from them as quickly as you can, because they're probably not a person of faith, or maybe a person of very little faith. Now, my mom married a guy that pretended to be a Christian. And after they got married, she found out that he was not a Christian at all. He was just trying to pull the wool over her eyes, and he succeeded in doing that.
Yeah.
And that was a terrible time for our family when my mom went through all of that. So don't be deceived. There are a lot of people out there that are very deceitful, and they're going to try to trick you into believing.
They are.
And there's an old adage that none of us marry the person we date.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you'd have never married me if you didn't know what I was really like.
Yeah, no comment.
But you of all women are most blessed.
Oh, thank
There-
you.
there
I
you
am
go.
blessed.
There you go.
Well, and can I say, have we not, even when we were teenagers, did you not date people that pretended to be something they're not?
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
They don't change. Get to know them. Get to know their families. See them interact.
Yeah, I think a man looks at a woman and says, I hope she never changes. And a woman looks at a man and says, I can work with that. There's
Yeah,
a big difference.
that's what I did.
So, yeah. So you don't have to minimize your faith. Here's something else is a big deal. You do not have to compromise your sexual boundaries.
Right.
You don't.
No.
And unfortunately, a lot of women think that they have to compromise that in order to get a man or keep a man. I'm telling you, as a man, that they will lose respect for you. I don't care what the circumstance
Right.
is.
They will.
They'll lose respect. So,
Well, then if they think that you with them and you weren't married, had sex or whatever you did, how can they trust you with somebody else?
That's right.
And I would feel the same way about the man. So that's a terrible thing.
yep. Don't ignore the red flags. If something in your gut is telling you something's not quite right here, believe it. And I do believe in women's intuition. I think that you guys have a sense.
It's helped before, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I think y'all have a
Spidey
sense. Has a
senses.
spidey sense that men don't have. So
Yeah.
if something in your gut is saying there's something wrong with this person, then look elsewhere. But don't pursue something just because of the way that they look or whatever. All right, here's another one. Rob, read you that one.
Heal before you search. And that's what I was trying to tell you. Don't just go out there. You're good by your own. Healed. You need to be healed. That.
Well, I think that a lot of people enter a new relationship and they're still wounded from the
yeah.
previous one. So you need to take time to heal and make sure that you're all right. And so before you ask the question, who should I date, you might need to ask the question, am I emotionally healthy enough to recognize the right person?
Right.
Because if you're not healthy emotionally, then every person you see might be, quote unquote, the right person.
Yeah.
And so make sure that you're in a good place with God, because healing matters and it takes time to
does.
heal. And
When you are vulnerable,
yeah,
they can pull all kinds of stuff over
Yeah.
you. So
And I've known some people that have been pretty beat up through the years,
Right.
both men and women, by their spouse, and they're hurt. And so don't fall for that comforting thing that this person, I like being around them because they bring you a little bit of comfort, but you're still wounded. You're probably not a very good judge. So you might need to ask some of your closest friends or family, what do you think about this person? And ask them to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Sixth thing is, Robin, why don't you share that one?
Your life doesn't begin when you get married. That's what I was saying. You're good by yourself. You don't have to be married. Now, if that's God's plan for you, but you need to go at life with the idea that, okay, I'm satisfied with this, if this is what God gives me. I mean, we all, we would like to be married, or we would like this or that, but I'm going to be satisfied here and wait for Him.
Yeah, I think, too, that you have to reach that point in your life, you say, I'm going to be faithful to the Lord no matter
Right.
what. So I'm going to keep giving, I'm going to keep serving, I'm going to keep traveling, I'm going to keep laughing, I'm going to keep on building friendships, I'm going to keep on sharing my faith, I'm going to keep on doing those things I know are the right things
Right.
to do. And you don't back away from that at all, because sometimes desperation will push away the very thing that you're hoping
And they
to
can
attract.
see it and feel
Yeah,
it,
they
let me
feel
tell
it.
you. I
this-
can spot them a mile away.
Yeah, this woman is desperate. And then they're going to figure out how they can use you, because they don't really need you. They just see your desperation. So make sure that that is not one of the elements when you're looking for someone new. All right, and then the next one, Rob.
Be open without being naive.
Yeah, there's a balance. There's a balance. You don't want bitterness to shape your judgment, and sometimes it will absolutely do that, or even blindness. So later life dating especially requires wisdom, and you got to watch for consistency. What else?
Well, integrity, emotional maturity, that's a big one. Emotional
huge.
maturity, that and integrity.
Yeah.
And ask the people around you when you're, interacting. Ask them what they think.
Yeah. When I interview a staff member, prospective staff member, many times I'll take them out to eat, and I watch the way they treat the servers, how they treat their spouse. Sometimes, if it's possible, I even ask them to drive. I want to see how they are in traffic, And sometimes their real self will kind of come out,
Yeah.
And if you're around somebody that's treating their server wrong, they're going to treat you wrong. If they're driving like a maniac, you're risking your own life at that point. So, charm is not character. And some people can be very charming, but they don't have good character.
So is the devil.
Oh, absolutely. And
So
someone said chemistry is not compatibility, and that is absolutely the truth. So, and here's one thing that I think women fall for:
what?
attention is not love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is not.
I think most people want attention of some kind. I think women probably want it more than men, honestly. They want that attention. They want people to think they're pretty and so forth. And so you can get somebody that's got he's a smooth talker, give you all the verbal attention that you want, but that's not necessarily the right person.
Well, you had one on there, humility.
Yeah, humility. Yeah, that's an important
Very
trait
important.
to have. Yeah,
Don't marry a man who's arrogant.
yeah, because you're asking for trouble at that point. And then trust God without idealizing people. In other words, there's not any person in this world that's going to complete you perfectly. There's only one that can do that, and who's that, Robin?
Lord Jesus.
The Lord Jesus Christ. So marriage is wonderful. It's a gift from God. We both believe that with all of our hearts. But marriage is still, no matter what, it's still two imperfect people learning grace along with each other. So they're learning what does it
Right.
mean to live in grace. So don't expect to find a perfect person. You're not going to find one. But you can find someone that has the same qualities, morals, values, and standards that you have, or very close to it. And that's the person that you might want to give your attention to.
Right.
So, hey, thanks for joining Ask Dr. E. We're so glad that you're here today. And make sure you tune in next Wednesday. There'll be another new video out. Remember to like and subscribe. You say, why do you say that? Because it pushes the algorithm up on the YouTube deal. I don't know exactly how that works. But actually, if you like, subscribe, and even make a comment in the comment section, that helps the algorithm go up. So they suggest our videos more often than those that don't get likes and comments and
Right.
so forth. So help us out, help us get the word out. I think this is a great ministry, and I think it's helping a lot of people. And so I'm thankful for you, and I hope and pray that you have a great, great week. We love you very much. God bless you.
Bye.